この番組はご覧のスポンサーの提供でお送りします。Alrighty, welcome everyone. I'm Teeaboo and I am here for ReZero Season 2, Episode 9. It is quite early in the morning this morning. I was going to take the rest of the morning, take like an hour or two, take a shower, do my normal things, spend the time waking up. But I wanted to get the previous episode up on YouTube early, so I went and I was looking through it and finding the thumbnail and doing all that stuff. And I realized that the title that I had put on it tentatively wouldn't work because I already used it. Shame on me for using the correct title on episode 2 and 3 and calling that one Sanctuary. I wanted to title this one Sanctuary because that's what it felt like we finally have a chance at finding for Subaru. Here in Echidna's realm, finally someone can see him. It's a strange mirror to being seen and understood by other characters so far, insofar as we've been able to be seen by Amelia, which is to an extent, but maybe not to the same extent that we've maybe been seen in some ways by Rem and embraced despite our flaws, nor is that to the extent that we now experience compassion and understanding from someone who really does know and really wants to in Echidna. Because the kind of love and acceptance that can be given by another person, even one wholeheartedly dedicated to your well-being and to loving you, is somewhat different from that can be given by something ethereal and something beyond real. That's true psychologically, too. We can get so much comfort from reality and from real people, but sometimes we must look beyond ourselves and beyond our sphere to find comfort in hope and ideals, things that are beyond the sketchy shadows of reality that we see. So, as I was thinking about that, I thought maybe if we experienced Sanctuary before, and we've experienced it with these other characters, what we have now is something a little different, a little bit beyond, an inner sanctum. And so that's what I titled the episode. And then as soon as I titled it, it was like, oh, I want to draw something. And in my mind, I was like, oh, this is just going to be a sketch so that I get the idea that I'll draw on camera for real. But then I finished it. So that's what I drew. And it's our inner sanctum. Yeah? Just a little place, a little tent, a gazebo on a Windows XP background. The sky that I put in there is more twisted and torn and scarier than the one that we have in ReZero, and it felt right to me. And there was a period where I started to sketch these clouds and make them come into the space behind the gazebo, and that felt wrong to me, so I erased them. They don't intrude in this space. This space is safe. This space is beyond that. There was something else that I found interesting about the way that I ended up drawing the clouds. When I started drawing them, I think I started here, and this section was the first cloud that I drew. And then I continued from there, and as I continued, it felt like the patchwork became unclear to me, which parts were cloud and which parts were the sky behind. I had this inclination, like maybe I should color in one or shade it in so that it becomes clear that one is one side and one is the other. And then it was like, well, which side is which? And it wasn't clear to me. Which part of the puzzle is the veil and which part is the reality behind it? Not quite clear. But the gazebo, this place, it's a bastion of clarity. There are no clouds in here. When we enter and we come into this space where we can sit and we can commune with something bigger than us, we can talk, we can feel ourselves and be, and actually speak the true torment that Subaru's soul is undergoing. He can actually say it. He can actually speak it. Echidna to Subaru is something that none of his relationships can be. She's someone who can care without being in his life. She's separated out. Echidna's a therapist, y'all. Let's not mince our metaphors here. Echidna is separate from Subaru's world, yet able to see him, has grand knowledge and insight that she's able to bring to bear to understand and help him battle. But she also can't act directly in his life, right? She can only help him see things differently, only share bits and pieces of information, and some of that information is stuff that he's not ready to hear explicitly. What's the first thing that we do when we meet Echidna? What's the first trial that we undergo? Isn't it the most classic of therapeutic techniques? Of psychological analysis? Tell me about your childhood. Of course, Echidna skips that step and jumps straight to reliving it and expressing it and watching him go through it. Because we're in a metaphorical space and Echidna has superpowers. The kind of superpowers that every therapist would wish that they had. The ability to dive into their patient's mind and fast forward, rewind, and allow them to replay elements in a sort of a dream state, like the kind of hypnotic state that a lot of therapists try to produce in their patients in order to perform certain types of therapies. To go in a safe way, in like a bubble of comfort, and reevaluate and re-experience childhood memories and traumas and fears in a way where Subaru can look at them now as he is and evaluate the child that he was then and the fears that he had and experience them differently. Relive traumas in a way where he can get closer to them and overcome the things that still shackle him. What is Echidna to us? Narratively, a witch, a dead goddess. I know, not a goddess, whatever. Mince your words, whatever. A witch, a dead goddess, a being beyond comprehension, one who wants comprehension. But what is she to us? Somebody who can be talked to. An important element in everyone's journey. A crucial one. I think that's pretty cool. If you don't have something like that, if watching Subaru find someone where he could finally express himself and speak echoed with you in a way of longing, in a way of yearning, or perhaps in a way of that feeling you have when you see something that isn't for you, you're like, well, I'm never going to get that. Then, my friend, that's where you'll find that, is in professional help and counseling. Because that's what Echidna is. Now, we've only gotten the barest taste, and I have no idea what's going to happen next as we continue this conversation. But what a turning point for our boy. What a change for our story. A lot of questions have been building up, and in our couple of loops that we've done here, they've just gotten worse and stranger and scarier. It feels more and more like everyone is against us and we have no roads. Like our allies in those friendships we have worked on and that are trying to make progress aren't making the progress that they need to. Like our situation is getting scarier and scarier. And then there are bits that are, well, each loop seems to change and become worse. Part of that's the witch's smell. But there are other things too. It's getting harder for Subaru. It's getting harder and darker. And allies that he thought he could rely on are now in question. Betty has a gospel or something like it. Roswell knows about it and is being mysterious and cryptic. Our friends feel like enemies. Our enemies feel bigger than we can deal with. We're overwhelmed and on a path to great darkness. It's the perfect time to see a professional. Right? It's like the perfect time to be getting some therapy. So what I'm actually hoping for in this next episode is some like lessons to be learned in terms of the way intervention and change can work, like how an interaction that's powerful and full of emotion and real and honest and genuine can alter someone's trajectory, because I see Subaru on a spiraling downward trajectory, and I'd love to see if Echidna can bounce him in a different direction somehow. Obviously, that's what he wants too, but it's very hard without help. It's a very cool place in ReZero. I kind of want to like sit here a little bit and enjoy it, because it is a cool place. It's an exciting development in a way that I'm impressed by, and I'm excited to see where it goes from here. So, having already drawn a drawing and already said my piece and not having anything else to do this morning, may I invite you to come along with me to watch ReZero Season 2, Episode 9, please? Yes? Yes. Let's go ahead and give it a watch. I've got the episode up. I've got custom subs from the Discord. Otherwise, it's the OZR version. And we're going to watch it up, y'all. Okay, I've got episode 9 up and ready to go. It's 0 seconds. There'll be 2 versions. Picture-in-picture in the description. Timer on YouTube. Beep beep timer to count you down. Early access on the Patreon. Beep beep timer to count you down. Let's go. Tea time. Which is who exactly? Satella? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you stink like her. Hmm. Okay. Well, that's good. However, is there a different downside? The witch's intense delusion? Because you have delusions of your own. Why does she care about you? Made so many mistakes. But based on what she wants. So other things are fine. Yours. You've been given this gift. But if you want to be responsible for them, you make your choices. You make your choices. Why are you witch vibing at me? Oh. Oh. I'll expand it. I'll share my power. Yep. Fuck, bro. So fire punch. Just cut it off, bro. Just cut it off. It's fine. Let me burn. Fuck. That's what she said. Yeah, you know everything. She's so fucking silly. She's so daring. Yeah! I don't know if there's a price. Seriously. Could I get an outline? Yeah, what the fuck was the rabbit? Like, great whale? Is it now? Black serpent. Oh, that's why the thing. Why wasn't any portion of that explained at the time? It would have saved me so much confusion! Okay, good. It makes all the sense. Wabbit. Oh. Tons of little wabbits. So it's just rabbits. It's like, it's actually just rabbits. There's nothing fancy about this. It's just rabbits. There's nothing great about it. But you know it's a rabbit, bro. It's making this out to be like this big plague, but it's just fucking rabbits. They're stuck and they're fucked. It's all happening at once, too. It's all happening together. We love Risk. Yeah, let's hang out. We live in a graveyard. Oh. Oh. Will it be seancey in your body thing? Oh. 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 Oh, you can get full mind broken like we've seen before. No, do it. Nah, bro. Let's go. Let's fucking go. Yeah, let's fucking go. Cut it off, bro. Cut it off. Fucking burn me. I am the fuel for the fire. Fucking hell. Poor dude. Damn it. I was trying to... Aw. Just gonna try to eat you, bro. Okay, it's not gonna be your physical body. It's gonna be Daphne. Let's go. How bad is this gonna be? You gonna be cool? Do not touch or remove restraints. Just a hungry child. Donna? Don't touch me. Do not head pat. Do not touch her. Ah! Ah! Huh? What? Wait, because you touched it? Oh my god, hi! What the fuck? It's a representation of him. It's his own representations. That wasn't her. That was a different one. It was a different one who hopped in. She's a magical girl. She's love? She's Diamond is unbreakable. We're about to go to number 3, dude. Don't, oh, fuck. She's so hot. What the fuck? Why are they all their opposites? No. She opened herself and now it's just a cycle through. Are we gonna get Satella? Oh, hot. Okay. Restraints. This one is hungry. This one is hungry. Do not touch. Nope. Uh, uh, uh-huh. Yeah, quick bite. Were they your stuffies? Comfort toys? What? Ignore avoidance? It reminds me so much of Symphogear. Of Shenshojing. Huh. You made them to be food? Darvo. Everything is justified. Ah! Classic abuse. Why don't you experience my pain? Oh, thanks for the hint. Mana. Okay. They are all pretty neutrally. The Sanctuary. One rabbit. Alright, bye-bye. Good night. Holy fuck. Are we gonna see the other ones too? It's so interesting that the other ones managed to hop into the open spot. Or like come through the door. Another oath. Hmm. Strains at the restraints. Bye. This is so spooky. Do we get her back? Oh, Dona, Echidna. I didn't understand. I just got it. Yeah, your lack of control over this situation was very scary. Yeah, she broke me into pieces. What the fuck? Yeah, why was Wrath helpful? And justified and justicey. What the fuck? I'm so bonked. Come on, there are a few you haven't met yet. Please, please, please. Alright, what liquids were those? You're so easy to read. Definitely put hair in it. Whoa. Inner sanctum, shaky, shaky. Oh. Hmm. 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 Like she'll fail? No progress. She wants that really badly. Oh. For you to change it. That's the goal. Ow. That might have hurt. Yeah, how can I return if I don't know that it exists? Yeah, man, how do I schedule another session? Fuck. You're booked? Oh. And she was surprised when you came the second time. Oh. We're gonna have to be in great pain. We're gonna have to be in great pain. You'll see her because of the trial situation. We wakey. Mm. Huh. Whoa. Whoa, what? Yeah, what are you taking away? Okay. I am uncertain of what that means. Acknowledgement of that. I am uncertain of what that means. We gotta keep an eye on Petra. Which we almost certainly will. Ah! Every time they gotta drop another tidbit. It never ends, y'all. I wouldn't have it any other way. But like, fuck. Okay. Where's Amelia? This is super different. What? 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 Snake? No. What? Oh, is it Satella? Because we connected with the others? So hot! What? Time to die, I guess. Oh. Garf? What the fuck? What is this? Emergence of Satella. How? Where's Amelia? What is Garf doing? What the fuck? Was this their whole plan the whole time somehow? What even is it? And where's it? Amelia? Where's Amelia? Where's Amelia? Um. Um. Yeah. There's after credits. I am absolutely rocked, guys. Gals, folks, everyone. I fucking what? I'm absolutely bombed. All right, what do we got? Yeah! Yeah, fucking next time! Ah! Of course. Ah, these are backward. Of course. Derails everything that I was gonna talk about. Fuck. 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 All my plans. All my ideas. All my brain. My brain is gone. Goodbye, brain. Fuck. What the shit? It's so wild that this isn't even like... This isn't even a crazy hit of an episode. Just pretty it's just pretty banger. It doesn't even feel like a climax to a bunch of things. I thought it might have felt more climactic than that. I think the music throughout is really good. It's like so understated and like and dreamy and weird. We spend this entire episode in Echidna space in the tea party. We meet so many. We meet 3 more witches. There's just too much in this one. There's too much. A lot of it like doesn't have the detail for us to like sink teeth into and really extract a lot of value from. But it's still worth considering and mulling over and thinking about what it might be. And maybe things will crystallize or become clear to me as I discuss it or think about it, and maybe even more so over the week as we percolate. Because they definitely did from last episode to this time over the course of the week. I definitely felt more like I understood where we were going. This, though, like, that was so much. I'm very impressed. I'm very impressed by the episode. For an episode that I don't think goes, like, over the top crazy with production value in particular, it managed to totally wow me with an entirely dialogue-driven scene that was deeply intense and deeply tense and spooky. It has a bunch of elements in it that are just off-putting or freaky. Surprising. What fun. I didn't get the sort of like therapist vibes that I was sort of expecting, although some of it certainly is there. The ability to actually express reality to Echidna is powerful, and some of it definitely lines up, but I'm not going to like stick to the analogy because I think it's fun or important or anything like that. I'm more interested in evaluating what's actually here. Overwhelmed at the rage at her. No one is capable of. And we do start in this place that feels very much like that kind of open dialectical conversation. It's okay not to understand what's being done to you, how this world is working. Turn. And then this crucial question about return by death. No limit, she believes. Uncertain, but probably no limit. So the trade-off is otherwise. It's the simple one. It's the straightforward one. Sacrifices. They become permanent. And it's not based on your will. You might say, I don't want to live on without Amelia in my life. But the superpower doesn't care about that. It only cares about you. So welcome to a world where you live on without any of the things that you want. And it seems that the same goes because of the way that she said, avoiding the dead end that is a true death. We know that it doesn't care much if Subaru is all there. Yeah? If he's destroyed and distraught and doesn't seem to matter for whatever Echidna's plans are. probably because he's needed as, like, either a vessel himself or an element of turning Amelia into a vessel. And it's just, like, prophecy or plan. It doesn't matter who he is when we get to whatever point is prophesied. It just matters that he exists or something. Fuck. It is the witch's intense delusion. I'm not sure what that means. It's very interesting. In my mind, what it draws is a parallel between what I've talked about in sort of Subaru's delusional masking behaviors, or like delusional self-imagery of self as grand hero, of knight, of all of these things. But those are delusions that I see as important and like valuable. I actually am a big fan of certain types of delusions like that, like heading for the stars, like we're off to the races, the gambate style of delusion of like, there's value to it, real and true value, especially when you're overcoming things that are bigger than you and harder than you can grapple with. But I don't know how it relates to Satella's. It may not. Why this power? Simple. You can redo destiny, and you're not allowed to make mistakes. So then, what about the things that I consider mistakes? Well, it's not by your terms. Yeah, it's not by your terms. We heal and we regrow. In reality, we heal and we regrow, but we're not always gifted with the particular powers that we need in order to accomplish the goals that we really want in the way that we want. Often we have within ourselves capacities that don't seem to match up to our grand goals. It's like a rule almost. That girl was not taken into account. Anyone who isn't you is not part of the plan. And so, if you decide to do that to save others, that's all your responsibility. I like that a lot as an attitude toward reality. It's easy to curse forces bigger than you for not changing the world or giving you the power to change it easily. It's much harder to try to actually expand yourself and really take that responsibility. Subaru wants to lean on the power and be like, why doesn't the power give me the perfect opportunities to try again and again? It's like, well, as amazing as it is, it's still limited. You have to make those choices and sacrifices yourself. If you do change destiny at the expense of many sacrifices, those sacrifices will be writ into stone permanently. So it is. And so it reaches, and he feels and experiences the pain. I thought what we were doing here was Satella was actually pulling at him or like intruding in this space, but instead he's just remembering the pain. Having experienced it, having felt loss and grief and failure and death and agony, he reevaluates and sees those and feels those, and in the light of not ignoring them or pretending like they won't happen, he chooses them. Fine then. Grim smile, but a smile nonetheless. If I am the one who is blessed, then I will use that blessing to save others. I'll use it up. I'll use myself up. And so at this point I said, it's Fire Punch. And I invite you to go and read Fire Punch, if this is compelling to you. If you're one of those people for whom this part of ReZero hits for you really well, this element of Subaru's repeated struggling, like not easy, gritting his teeth and moving forward, there's a lot in Fire Punch that's reminiscent of it. Burn me away until there's nothing left to use. Now, we've been in this state before as well for Subaru and for other characters that we've talked about, where there's a little bit of a manic, like, I got this, we can do it. And if you want to see a little bit of that, go and find me toward the end of Cyberpunk Edgerunners, episodes 8, 9, 10 or so, and you'll see that same fervor in my eyes. You'll see it. Same fervor. Same yeah, I'm gonna get hurt by this, let's go for it anyway. And friends, it's a little bit after that. It was cool. It was tough. It was worth doing to some extent, but I did get hurt by it. It did rock me in ways that I'm still recovering from. To do that kind of to hell with it, the sacrifices are meaningless. I'm gonna go forward anyway. Well, I tell you with experience that the sacrifices aren't meaningless, but you can go forward anyway. I think this attitude is one that I respect and admire and look forward to when it appears in me and when it's something that I can embrace and hold on to. But it's also something that I'm a little bit more wary of, because I know that an element of it can be the same element that convinces young men that they're invincible to go out on the battlefield and fight for what's right. And a lot of those young men come home deeply damaged. You can tear yourself apart in a way that can't be fixed. Trying to change the world, trying to take on big responsibilities. It's powerful and it's motivating, but it's a counterpoint to my own sort of delusional stuff. Because I recognize that I have that and I engage with it intentionally. It's fun. It's good. It's it is childish. And that's powerful. Our ability to dream and believe that we could maybe have control over our reality, that we could be bigger than we are, is something worth fostering. But there's a paradox in it. When you want to take the emblem of Atlas and identify with it, when you want to see yourself in the endless struggle of Sisyphus, when you want to see your own pain and your own ability to sacrifice for your fellows as parallel or patterning toward the Christian ideals of sacrifice or the religious ideals of samsara and suffering and how it's necessary. However you see those things, to engage with them and to engage with the world in a self-sacrificing, open, weight-bearing way that says, I'm strong enough to carry the suffering, is deeply humanizing and powerful, and it's a grand thing that any of us can do if you build up to it. But be prepared, because it sometimes is more weight than you can bear, even if you think you can. And sometimes you have to psych yourself up to it into this sort of fervor, and then you feel like you can do anything. And I don't want to detract from that because it's dope. And that's where you got to get to in order to tackle challenges that are going to change your life and change the lives of the people around you, and good, and do it. But there are real dangers, inside and outside. It's worth taking care. So as we watch Subaru here, my expectation is a beautiful one, but a painful one. Subaru will walk forward and take the pain of this world upon himself, take responsibility for carrying the team. He's got the special power. He's got the link to the knowledge that's outside of this world. He's got the connections. He's got the ability. He's got the capacity. He's got the will to suffer. And he's going to. He's going to suffer for a purpose. The question becomes, does the purpose get fulfilled before he shatters? Or vice versa? Don't know. In some ways, all of us exist under the same restraints, the same circumstances. Do you have a purpose? If not, then your purpose might be to find one. Then the question is, can you fulfill that purpose or feel like you've made progress toward it before you break? In some ways, if you can answer yes to that question on your deathbed, then you've affirmed that your life was worth living. And the opposite. I really love this youthful fervor in Subaru. This will toward suffering for a purpose, toward struggle. I just have a slightly wiser perspective toward it now. And I suspect that in a little while from now, Subaru might gain a little bit of a wiser perspective toward it too. It's going to hurt in the middle. We're going to have some successes and some failures. But there's a balance, you know? If you overstretch yourself, if you take on too much responsibility and you fall apart, then you won't even be able to help the ones you care about the absolute most. If it came down to it for Subaru, here's a hard question. It's like a mean one, a trolley problem a little bit. It's like a little fucked up. So here's a fucked up question for you. Subaru wants to expand his responsibility toward people that he cares about. Subaru cares about Ram. Subaru cares about Otto. Subaru cares about Amelia. And there's a hierarchy between them, somewhat. Subaru cares about the village of Arlam. Subaru cares about Betty and Petra and everybody at the manor. But there's a hierarchy. If it came down to it, and Subaru was only capable of bearing one weight, one unit of weight. And let's say Amelia costs a unit of weight, and Otto costs a unit of weight, and Ram costs a unit of weight, and the whole village of Arlam costs 2 units of weight, because that's a lot of people. And Petra and everybody at the manor costs a unit. And he can only bear 1. 2 will break him. Can't save the village of Arlam, can we? Amelia or Ram? Otto or Ram? Easy, Ram. Amelia or Ram? Hard, Amelia. Amelia or the village? Amelia. Amelia or Roswell and Betty and the manor? Amelia. What if you can only bear so much weight? Do you blame yourself for what you can't carry? Subaru will. Subaru will. This is a hard spot, because it's such a good spot now. And yet, the paths that it lead down, also well-intentioned, also powerful, also going to have good, but they're going to be mixed blessings. And I'm too aware of the hurt that can come. He bounced back with surprising ease, but it wasn't easy, and he knows. He knows it. He doesn't finish. I wish he does. I wish he did. And then some weird, cute, blushy stuff. And then you are the only one I can count on. A price to be paid. And a question about the rabbits. Big info! It's a trio. They're mini-bosses. Fuck yeah. I wonder if we're experiencing something about the black serpent right now with the weird goop. No, that's the witch thing. That's gotta be Amelia's body, right? So fucked. 3 legacies of misfortune. They weren't intended as such, were they? What an amazing thing that intents can be twisted so. Twisted and broken people or creatures, the witches that cannot see themselves, that are emblematic of certain ideas. Even if it's confusing to me how they emblematize them, they are. Sort of in their opposites in weird ways, or like the light and shadow side of each thing. Like wrath is somehow love, but also fighting. It's like strange, strange. Pride is so esteem destructive and person shattering. Very strange. I don't understand. It's like such a cool web because I know there's meaning. I know there's a relation that makes sense between like what the witches are named and how they work, but I don't understand it yet. And I know that it like is totally obvious and makes perfect sense. It just makes me feel dumb, and that's actually cool because it makes me feel like the author is smart. It's great. I do find it extremely amusing, like endlessly amusing, that the great rabbit's horrifying things are that it eats too much and breeds a bunch. It's just rabbits. All it leaves behind is a deserted field, and it's just like, oh, terrifying. It's just describing rabbits. It reminds me so much of the Monty Python, like, evil rabbit explanation scene. It's like, no, you don't understand. It's truly horrifying. So that's what all of that was. I'm not 100. I tried to keep up with the timeline, and I'm not entirely sure. Because this thing with the play out exactly as expected makes it confusing to me. But I think I'm overthinking it. I don't think it matters. That said, I can give you an opportunity to talk. I love how quickly our framing changes when this opportunity gets released. It's like, boom, outward. Big, wide, weird, ethereal. Awesome. I really don't recommend it, though. Mental injuries. More lasting than physical. But Subaru engages. This is the first time that he actually like follows up what he said he wanted to do, to take on that responsibility and stuff. But the ones who emerge are not what we expected. Okay, Donna, cutesy, very cutesy, tiny child. Wonder who this voice actress is. I'm gonna want to know all the witch voice actresses, so I'm gonna find Tifon Suisaki Kuno, aka Momo Kawamoto, aka every cutie cutie patootie that has ever cutesified, including Elf9. That's what I was looking for. I was like, I know that she's somebody, like really truly somebody. Elf9, Symphogear. Of course, it's a Sympho girl. Let's go, Sympho girls. Still gods in other worlds. That's what sold it. Donna, Baru. So how much do the witches know from where they are? I don't know. It's interesting. So we start about this. This is Pride. I'm curious. I'm gonna fuck this all up. I don't understand these witches. It's okay. Let me fiddle. Let me cook. Let the boy cook. Are you a bad guy? Can I value judge you real quick? The fuck? So what this seems to be is like Tifon cut straight to the core of where your self-esteem lack might be. Like the deepest of questions that somebody's pride might be rooted in or fail from. Are you a bad guy? And then I've wondered about that this whole time. It's really curious to me. Unable to like interact effectively. And then sin can only be repaid with pain. Huh? And then this proves the pain you're not feeling proves that you must not be a bad guy. So something about her power is about dissecting people and seeing if they react in a certain way. Well, he reacts. It's scary, but it's not because of pain. It's because he's freaked out. Damn you, give it back. Sin becomes a wedge that allows no escape, and he shatters. Crunch. And falls apart. And then she responds with curiosity, like, oh, interesting. As though her power isn't something that she's doing to him, but something that being in her presence causes of him. It's like what he becomes is inevitably a reflection of his self-representation and pride level. So what he sees is a shattered, broken person who is a broken sinner, as she says, one who misses the mark, perhaps, even though you're not a bad guy. So she makes a distinction. You see yourself as one, even though you're not one. So that means, logically, you have a good heart. That's such an interesting framework. So I don't understand Tifon's ability. I'm just guessing at it and smidging and whatever. Okay. I don't understand the nature of it, or really any of the statements, but this is perfect logic to me. I don't know how, but it feels like perfect logic to me. Because it's one of the the hallmarks that I've noticed of people is that the worst people that I've met, experienced, and seen believe themselves to be great, to be really cool. And whether that's real or just a mask over their insecurities about self, it's what they believe. And the best people that I know are constantly evaluating themselves for flaws. Not in a self-harming way, but constantly watching for themselves. Constantly, like, aware that they could be other than they are. Constantly wondering if they are making the right choices or if they're missing the mark. Now, Subaru's manner of this is more like low self-esteem and more self-destructive than what I'm talking about. It verges into not helpful territory, but it could grow and evolve into the kind of self-awareness that can be really powerful and valuable and helpful for him. To see oneself as a sinner, even though you're not a bad guy, probably isn't great, but to be wary, always wary that you could be making mistakes, that you're not perfect, that maybe it's your fault, that maybe it's you, maybe you can improve. That's very valuable. On the flip side, not very valuable if you're in abusive relationships. People will see that and they'll take advantage of it and be like, yes, you are always the problem. It's always you. You're the problem. You are the sinner. You're bad. You're bad. Fuck you. Fuck you. You're bad. It's you. But often that feeling of self-recognition, because there are two forms, right? There's like self-delusion, dysphoria, like I'm really terrible when a person isn't really terrible. And then there's recognition of like, I could improve. I think that is an indicator of a good heart because it comes from a place, as long as it comes from this sort of place, a desire to like see oneself truly and in fullness and grow beyond where their boundaries are now, become better and become more of a good person, more full, more capable. Very cool. So she feels pity. You poor thing, kawaii so. Well, that's all I came for. Just wanted to fuck around. So she hops in and is full Maho Shoujo screaming. She also, just like body type wise and the ponytail and stuff, reminds me entirely of the chick from History's Strongest Disciple, Kenichi. It's because the poppers. Puppets. Pop'ems. Boobs. So fucking weird. Who cares about committing every heinous evil doing? To strike all that defies reason in the world. So is completely bonked. If you're here, then don't expect to make it back unscathed, and blasts us with heart fury rage while crying. Which puts us back together. Somehow. And isn't crying, just angry. And a total tsun, and hates Typhon for causing harm, but then causes a bunch of harm in the same way. Okay. The vibe I get is like, each of these witches is the psychological response and justifications around their named sin, or something like that. Like, wrath isn't wrath in the way that we traditionally think of wrath. We think of wrath, I think of wrath as like unprompted rage and anger. And wrath here is like merciful, helpful, but pissed off at other people being mean. How dare other people being mean? And their mean justifies me punching you better. Because I'm gonna punch you better. That is one of the faces of abuse. Is the righteous crusader. So angry about the injustices in the world that they're willing to go and perform injustice themselves, Batman it up in their own way. Go and scream obscenities at people that they think are causing harm, you know? Justified, righteous. Or Typhon, like, dissecting you, tearing you down and tearing you apart, with a casual will to it, like a very much on a whim, just like, oh, let me see through to the heart of you. What's up with you? Oh, you kind of suck. You don't really understand yourself at all. Interesting. Bye. How weird. How weird. Next time, I'll just complete. I have no idea. And finally, what would you ask of Daphne? Okay, I fucking love the whole aesthetic that Daphne has here. First of all, I think it's hot. It's hot. Also, it's Shen Shoujing. It's like exactly Shen Shoujing, which is crazy, and I wonder how the fuck that happened. It's Shen Shoujing. Wild. How did that happen? And then it has crab legs inside the coffin thing? What the fuck? But then it's also a full straight jacket bodysuit thing with a bunch of chains, and it's hot. Yeah. Horrifying. Horrifying. Plus purple and green. It's so interesting. Little tears. Very interesting. Oh, maybe it's not a tear, though. It could be a uvula, because the other bit is teeth. Or it could be the drip of, because she's got the teeth and the, always hungry. Subarun. Okay, who is her voice, and who is the other one? Oh, Mikaku Komatsu for, Minerva, who is Maki, Zenin Maki. And now Toyama is Daphne, who plays young Sasuke, Yui Gahama, Rin Shima in Yuru Camp. Cool. Okay. Sleepy, hungry, seems more genuinely gluttony-ish. This might be toxic to me, because you smell too good. Fuck. And the fact that we don't see any of the crab stuff until here is so cool, because it scared the fuck out of me when I was, ah! And then cutesy as well, very off-putting. I really love how off-putting they've made her and all the witches. This whole witch sequence with it, where it's unpredictable and we can't understand what's happening, and we can't, like, it's weird, we're not in control of it, it's just witch after witch after witch, is like fucking awesome. I fucking love it. It's horrifying. The whale, the bunny, and the snake? My homies? My plushies? Don't you realize what they've done? Why? He's so angry, and she's so childish. And her reason is not because she's hungry, but she's trying to consider the hunger of others. But again, it's like, out of consideration for you, I do a thing that causes more damage. Out of my fury at people being mean, I end up causing more harm, and the world shakes. Out of my desire to make sure that nobody goes hungry, my creations eat the world. It's like every one of them is the monkey's paw of their own desire and style. I wonder if that's like forced by whatever it is that makes them what they are, or like whatever paths are in their gospels, or however that works. I don't fucking know. I'm grasping at zero here. It's like it's the monkey's paw of whatever it is. Like wrath she's the monkey's paw of herself, weirdly, and pride shatters people instead of building them up. And envy, I don't know. I don't know. And then there's this flip. But they're taking more people away than they're feeding, and she does this flip. Don't you think it's a bit selfish? Don't you think you're being a little bit mean and wrong? After all, this is the most important of things. It's provable, too. My way of seeing things is the only and most fundamental and broadest way of seeing things, and if you don't see things my way, then you won't understand. But she shifts the framework, right? It, like, undercuts and undermines Subaru's intent. He's trying to be like, you're hurting a bunch of people, and she's like, but what I'm doing is justified. And he's like, well, yeah, I mean, I guess, but how are we talking about it in the context of people dying? I get that people dying is bad, but I'm talking about you killing people. She's like, yeah, but people will die if we don't. It's like, wait. How did we get derailed like that? How did you do that? And it's like a flip. It's like a script flip. Hey, I'm calling you out on something wrong that you're doing. It's like, hey, don't you think that you're wrong for thinking that way? I said it when it happened and it's not accurate. And I want to be clear that it's not accurate. I just threw it out because it felt correct to me. It's not accurate, but it's close enough that there's a parallel that I want to draw. I've been learning about a concept called DARVO. Deny, attack, reverse victim, and offender is DARVO, DARVO. And it's a pattern that is used by people in who are being generally abusive, not always in romantic relationships, but in all sorts of circumstances. You'll get this with bosses, you'll get this with friends, you'll get this with not very friends. So when exposed to criticism, legitimate criticism, a person who is incapable of dealing with that, and often abusive people, they will first deny the thing that you're criticizing them for, then attack you for something else, right? Flip it. So it's like, I didn't do that. How dare you think of that of me? Like, really, what a terrible thing. That's really mean of you. And then we reverse the victim and the offender, and we say, like, you always do stuff like this. Why is it that you make me feel unsafe in my own skin? I feel like I can't even express myself around you. When the thing that started it was them being like, I fucking hate fat people. And you being like, whoa, that's not an okay thing for you to say. And they're like, how dare you criticize me for expressing my opinions like that? How mean of you. You're really abusive to me for not letting me express myself. So we just had an example of it, right? But it would have the other parts there too. It's like, wait, no, I'm not. I would never do anything like that. How dare you accuse me of something like that? Do you not see me as a person? Do you just think that I'm a puncher who punches down on other people? How could you think of me like that? It's not quite this, but there's something in the way that the conversation goes that's like this script reversal, this like verbal judo that happens where it's like, oh, you're going to approach and criticize me? Guess what? You're on the bottom now, motherfucker. Get criticized. Get put in your place. That doesn't seem like the foundation of good communication, and of course it's not. These are monsters. But it's so interesting. This moment that we get from him, I really relate to. This moment where he looks away and he's like, yeah, you're right, but it feels like we just skated over the point that I made. I thought I made a good point. I identify with that a lot. Don't worry, you'd get it too if you were taken to that limit. You'll see from my perspective. But then she answers the questions, which is kind of cool. She lives under this framework of like, I'm not going to stop you from doing things, to eat, to kill, to destroy. So I'll tell you what you need to know. Weird. Confusing. All right, I'm going to wipe them out. Fine, try it. We get really spooky with it, too. And then finally, goodbye. And our meetings are done. Ah. Ah. You know the feeling, or like the feeling of like being exposed to an eldritch horror and getting your eyes burned out of their sockets? Vibe, mood. Fuck. Super weird when she jumped in. Yeah, very strange. I wonder what the mechanics of that are like. She opens herself and then all of them have access. You're the most normal. And then she gets all like, ha 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 ha. No. Please drink of my bodily fluids. But I didn't even put any hair in it. Crazy. Thump thump. I wonder what that is. You're not in that trial, but of course not. No change has been made. You'd have to be the element of change. You're going to be repeating everything, so maybe you can do it. Oh no, I'm not the one making her cry. Scares me. Subaru doesn't really engage with the line. Oh no, I'm not the one making her cry. Because the question is, who is? I only have two answers. Is it me? Is it Subaru? I don't think so. Is it Amelia? Is it herself? Past? I think so. He makes a good request. How can I return? I need to be able to schedule another session, but the conditions are more restrictive. But there will be ways. And one of them is a carrot dangled to pass the trial. The other is to scream a desire for knowledge. And it will take us getting to a dark place to do that, I think. Payment. Curious. I have no insight as to what it is that Echidna puts, takes, receives, understands from this object. She doesn't take it away. I thought this was like monkey's paw payment, like Petra's gonna be gone, motherfucker. No memories. No. Just cataloging? Taking information? Is it because of the emotional power of the love that's there or something like that? Is this a world where the witches get their fuel from like the powerful emotions of humans? I don't think so. But curious anyway. We leave off with the show is so good bad at this. So good bad at this. So good at being like, guess what? You thought we got a bunch of answers? Guess what? There's more stuff down the pipeline for you to come and get it. Come and get it. Fuck. Another mystery. Something she's gonna tell us. So, I have a simple question with an obvious and very unfortunate answer. Where is Amelia's body? Is it right there, saying, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you? A black-veiled bride, half a vessel? Or are we in some kind of dream state in between? Or what? I don't know. But Garf hops in to protect him. Strange. Can't you see what's going on? No. Why is the witch here? How is the witch here? Was it because of what Echidna did? And why is she going after the manor? Why so important the manor? Where is Amelia? And then, how does Roswell know? And what is their plan? These lines that he says have to be lines from the book, yes? A true believer? If you wish to walk through hell, I will gladly accompany you. Whose words? Hers or his? And to whom? To any who would read this gospel? Or to Natsuki Subaru? Is it Roswell who's walking through hell and feeling accompanied? Or is this what he's striving for? If you wish to live in hell, then hell is what I shall strive for. And finally, the revelation. Next time. Without mistakes. Roswell knows, and Betty knows. It's been implied up to this point. But now it's confirmed. Game changed, y'all. Is it Amelia in the center of that black cloud? We have to save her. We're going to reset, right? Roswell thinks so. How bad will it get before that? I don't know. We'll have to find out next time on ReZero. Thanks so much for watching this week's episode with me. I think next time, I saw some people discussing it in the Discord and saying that like they'd be down for either like 9 and 10 together or 10 and 11 together because 10 is apparently less amazing than this one. I don't fucking know. I don't feel like doing 9 and 10 together because I feel like leaving this one off in a super dankitude space and having some more time to mull it over and think about it. But maybe we'll do 10 and 11 together next week. Either way, I'll see you next week for more ReZero. Thanks so much for joining me for this week's early episode. What a banger. What a weird one. What a freaky deaky fuck show. Weird. Interesting. Thanks for watching it along with me. I'll see you next week for more. Much love. Peace.